Evening. I'd like to call this special called meeting for the City of San Juan today at 5:39 p.m. May we rise for the invocation? Mayor Pro Tem, can you lead us for the invocation, sir?
Ed, thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be here today. Guide us in the decisions that we're about to make. May we make the best decision not only for our employees, but for our taxpayers.
Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May be seated.
Just to point out a clarification, the question that we have here is whether or not this meeting was posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.041 through 551.050, specifically the date and time. This notice for this special call meeting was posted. Could you please certify and let us know if it was?
Good evening. I certified that it was posted Monday at 5 p.m.
Monday, as for the record, Monday, 5 p.m. is 72 hours prior to today at 5:30 p.m. Actually, 72 hours and 2.5 hours. Is that correct?
Correct.
I understand there was also an issue that was brought to attention, was the whether or not it needs to be concurrently filed on the website. I know typically we've done that as a practice, but under the code, there is a requirement with the municipality where it mandates that it be concurrently, and I believe the population is 48,000 as per the code. So I guess a question that I have from our city manager is, the city population for San Juan, according to the last census, is what?
It's between 32, 34.
Okay, so it's not beyond 48,000,
No.
is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So I know that had it been 48 or more, currently we would have to file or post on our website too the notice for the meeting. But because we don't meet that threshold, we're not mandated to do it concurrently. Okay? So therefore, we can go ahead and pursue with this meeting.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, staff, audience. The first item, or the only item that we have on this tonight's meeting is consider authorizing city manager to enter into a contract agreement for fully funded health, dental, life, accidental death, and dismemberment benefits. On July 23rd, 2017, we advertised this request for proposals on the monitor and also in the advance. On July 26th, it was advertised in the journal. Then it was extended. The RFP was extended and re-advertised in the McAllen Monitor on September the 6th, 2017, and in the Advanced News Journal on September 7th, 2017. After the extension, we received 7 responses. I believe we have several providers here with us that are here to present the insurance, the package that you have before you. Mr. Jaime, if there's anything that, I know typically what we do, Mayor, Commissioners, is that we give each vendor 5-minute presentation. You can continue with that practice. It's your call.
I don't know if 5 minutes is enough time, so I think we should give them a little bit more.
More?
I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? He's saying that maybe give each provider 5 minutes, and I was saying maybe a little bit more time, since it's a lot of,
How many do we have? 7?
about 8 minutes.
We have 6 companies that have submitted proposals.
And we can ask questions after 5. Because we got some questions to ask. So,
Okay.
from 5 to 8 minutes, we can ask questions.
So you're gonna,
So I'll escort visitors outside, and
Exactly.
we'll call them in one at a time.
Yes, yes, sir.
Seven, or only six showed up?
Okay. All right.
Oh, I don't? Okay.
I'm sorry, which is the one that pertains to TML, Mr. Jaime?
That is the TML at a glance, benefits at a glance, the first page. Yeah.
That one? Okay, this will be the,
That was the packet that you handed to us, right? What, just, okay.
The previous one that you had received is the one with the actual premiums.
Okay, good evening. My name's Heather Von Gotten. I'm with TML Multi-State IEBP. I'm here on behalf of Victor Diaz. He's the normal service rep for the city of San Juan. And I believe Victor has gone over, kind of where the city stands, the reason for the increase, but I just wanted to recap that and then, of course, go over some alternate options. So the city of San Juan has been with TML since October of 2015, so going on almost 2 years. I know we have talked about kind of how challenging things are with healthcare reform and the reason for the 10% increase that is, projected for October 1. So in addition to the regular claims utilization that's ongoing with our regular pool, also the city itself, we also have factors built into that 10% increase due to, of course, the expanded benefits with healthcare reform. That's a big factor. And then, of course, we are in the process of
Now, is your nurse line, is that 24 hours? Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Monday through Friday, or just Monday through Saturday and Sunday?
Thank you. But also, we've expanded it to include dermatology and mental health. These services are new, that will take place October 1. No additional cost to the employer. It is just a $10 consultation visit to the employee or covered dependent. So I didn't know if you had questions on the overall current benefits, if you wanted to have me go over the plan options that were previously provided. We provided 4 options that are close to your current plan that would reduce that overall 10% increase. So I can start on those plan options. We also quoted 2 additional options that Newkirk and Newkirk will present. I don't know if we can do that together, but where our benefit plans will work hand in hand with a gap plan that they have. So I didn't know if you wanted to stop for questions on the current benefits, the increase, the underwriting factors, if you wanted me to go right into the plan options.
On this increase, is $931.72 what the amount for this proposed? Because, you know, that seems kind of like that was the last year's. When I figured these numbers, I came out with 1,001,440. A slight difference, you know. So. Yes.
That would be based on the number of employees at the time.
Right now, we actually have 201 employees. So there's budgeted positions that, what's the
Right,
budgeted
they go
position?
based on budget positions, is what they quote you.
So what was it last year and what this is this year? The amount?
Total
Yeah,
for the year?
last year number versus this year.
I think it's on that spreadsheet. That,
928,378
That's current, that's right now.
current?
Fiscal year we're finishing.
Exactly.
That's for the fiscal year, and you're giving us 931 with an increase of 10%? So 928 and. No, I know what they're going based on. You know, they have a 10%. Versus the numbers, they don't match the numbers. So that's why I'm asking you. I'm asking her what was last year's. You did the numbers. I want to know what was last year and what was this year. And if it's 928, it doesn't match the 10%. Okay, you can keep on going.
or, unfortunately, I don't have that information. You know, the census could have changed from last year to this year, so we can put a pencil to it.
Next question is, when I as a patient go to
The doctor gives you a percentage. What kind of percentage did they give TML?
As far as what we process the claim at?
Yes.
So I was doing some research, and on your region here, you have about a 65 on average % discount.
65?
65, yes, sir. It's anywhere from 63 to 67, so 65 average discount is what your covered individual would get if they stay in network with United Healthcare.
So that's what the doctors were giving you. It's actually, the doctors, let's say if I have a bill for $1,000 and the doctors are giving you a 65%, I'm going to be charged $1,350 dollars. If I'm going to pay 20%, it will be 20% of that, which would be a $65 copay fee at that point. So that's,
Depending on the service, yes, sir. If it is hospitalization deductible benefit percentage, that's correct. The 20%, we actually have what's called a Tier 1 premium provider, and if a member uses one of those premium providers, then the benefit percentage goes from 80% to 85%. That's payable on behalf of the TML plan, once that deductible is met.
what's the percentage of providers do you have in our area?
Oh, gosh, we haven't had any network issues. I don't know the percentage, but the local doctors, facilities.
The reason I'm asking is because locally, the school district changed from agencies, and they had 3,000 doctors in the network, and it dropped to 1,500. So I would like to know how many doctors in the network do you all have? If a employee wants a claim, do you have somebody local here that can address their claims, or you're out of Austin only?
Well, our home office is out of Austin, but we do have service reps that are here in the area. And our service reps do offer a claim lookup as, often as you guys would need one.
When you mean service reps are from out of town coming in to do the service, or local service rep that live here in the Farson, Juan Alamo, or the RGV area?
They actually live out of the Austin area, and then they travel. Their day-to-day business is here in your area. And that would be Victor Diaz again. And he handles business here Monday through Friday throughout the valley, and he would be the one that would be able to set up a claims lookup. So if any individual was having difficulties understanding how their claims were processed, their explanation of benefits, not only do we have, email options, we have our customer care number. Victor has his information, and then we could schedule something to where anybody that were having issues, they could come in and visit, where he'd have his laptop set up and look into those claims.
So your customer care line would be an answering machine, or somebody in person taking the call?
We have live individuals taking the call Monday through Friday.
What's y'all's copay?
I'm sorry?
Copay.
The current copay that
Yeah.
we offer is $30. That is on the current plan. And then, of course, we did quote some alternate options. And if you guys were interested in looking at different benefits, then we very well could, go back to our underwriting department and request.
So in the current plan, what if it's out of network? What's the price on that? Because, looking at the spreadsheet, I don't have that information.
There is no copay for out-of-network. It would-
Okay, and within network either? I mean, there's no copay out of network?
No copay out-of-network. If a member is using out-of-network services, then it would start with their out-of-network deductible.
Okay. Now, what about specialists?
Our specialist is the exact same copay as a primary care physician, so $30 regardless of type of visit, as long as the provider is in network.
Okay, now as far as the price on prescriptions, do you by any chance have a dollar amount, whether what it costs to go with a generic or the name brand? Do you have that with you?
Copays, you mean?
Well, yeah.
I have the copays, yes, sir. So our generic copay for an individual is $5, and that's up to a 34-day supply.
How many?
34?
34, okay.
Yes, sir. And then if a member takes brand name, that copay, it will depend on the cost of the overall medication. So the first copay would be $43, then $65 or $120.
So when you say out of network, you don't pay anything, so what would be the percentage?
It's not that we don't pay anything, we just don't have a flat office visit copay for out-of-network services. Because again, we use United Healthcare and we use our broadest network, which is the Choice Plus. So we typically don't see issues with out-of-network, but if an individual did see a provider out-of-network, instead of having that flat $30 office visit copay for in-network, they would just have, responsibility for the total charge until their out-of-network deductible is met. And then once that's met, then we process the claims at 50%. So it's not that we don't pay anything, it's just going to be a lot of extra unnecessary responsibility on behalf of the member by going out of network.
Any other questions?
over the plan options that were provided?
Right quick, you want?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we were talking about the office visit copay. We did quote, I don't know if you have it in front of you, the option 1. There is no office visit copay on that plan. So basically what that means is what we're trying to do is, again, cut that increase down. And in doing so with these 4 options that we have, we were able to cut that in half. That first option does not have an office visit copay, so the member would be responsible for their deductible first. And then, of course, TML would kick in and pay at that benefit percentage. All the plans, whether it's your current plan, any of these options that we talk about, of course, we do comply with the healthcare reform mandates. And as you know, preventive services are covered at 100%. Option 2 has a $30 office visit copay. We kept the $500 deductible and the out-of-pocket the same. What we ended up doing on option 2 was we changed the benefit percentage. So you currently have an 80% in-network benefit. On option 2, that would reduce to 70%. And in doing so, that would get your increase down to 4.87%. Option 3, again, a $30 office visit copay. We increased the deductible from $500 to $950 and increased the out-of-pocket a little, and that would get your overall increase to 4.19%. And then, of course, option 4, we increased your deductible, left the office visit copay and the out-of-pocket the same, and that gets you at 4.45%. So we're able to buy down that 10% increase down to anywhere from 4.19 to 5.08%. So cutting that almost in half by making an alternate plan option.
Let me ask you one more. If my spouse did not have me on her insurance, and now I get cancer, and she wants me to be placed on the insurance, would you cover me?
Well, there are certain opportunities that we would be able to her to cover you. So there would have to be a qualifying event mid-year or at any open enrollment this time before your renewal date. She would have that opportunity to add you. Preventive obviously is covered, and there is no more pre-existing under the healthcare reform rules. So at whatever opportunity you were able to come on, whether it's open enrollment or a qualifying event, we would, cover you from day 1.
You would cover me from day 1, an open if I had cancer.
And then in addition to those 4 options, like I said, we also quoted 2 plans that work hand in hand with Newkirk and Newkirk. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to wait to go over those with her.
On which one?
We have plan options that we quoted with a higher deductible, and the broker, Newkirk and Newkirk, Marissa is here, and she was going to go over how her GAP plan works hand in hand with our 2 options that we provided, in addition to those that I just went over.
Go ahead.
This representative that she's speaking of is a consultant for TM, so apparently they're working together.
Go ahead. Is she here? Or?
Okay. Yeah.
current deductible, like we're talking about, is a $500 deductible, and these two options that we have prepared have a $5,000 deductible with a $1,000 out-of-pocket. So it would be a $6,000 plan out-of-pocket per individual per calendar year for in-network services. One plan, no office visit copay, and the other does have an upfront office visit copay of $30, and you'll see the price differences there. And so how this works hand in hand is Marissa's going to go over her gap coverage that will fill in those gaps, so your employees will not necessarily be shocked and be out of pocket that full $6,000.
Okay, so gap proposal is on your tab 6. However, we tried to spread that out a little bit differently, see if we could help you understand it. So the $5,000 deductible plan is $335.03 employee only. What we've done in the next column is we've added the gap price, which is an average price, because gap does come on an age-rated basis. So up to age 39, it's a certain price. 40 to 49 is another price, and 50 plus is another price. So what we took is the census, made an average, and we added 8677 to that 335 for your total monthly of 421.80. If you don't add the gap, then of course you see the last column where the employee still pays $0 for the health insurance, and then the dependent prices are there. So any questions, so I can go into how the gap works. So what we've done is added the health insurance plus the gap equals $421.80 per month. Okay, so what gap does is you're buying a supplemental product, and it's going to cover $5,000 of inpatient, rather hospitalization. It's also going to give you an expense account of $2,500 for outpatient procedures. So as an average, year to year, if anybody has any outpatient procedures, the average cost could be anywhere from $2,400 to $2,600. So that outpatient $2,500 account will pretty much cover that expense. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it's a supplemental, so it's not going to pay up front. The employee will still need to pay for that up front, but they will be reimbursed usually within less than 10 days, okay? If they get hospitalized, then again, they will have to probably put down a down payment at the hospital. They let them know, I have gap. A lot of hospitals, what they're doing is they're allowing them to assign the gap supplemental benefit to the hospital, so now they know they're gonna get paid the $5,000 deductible. Okay, so that's basically what the employee does, assign it over. They file the claim, they get their deductible, they're happy, and the employee is not out of pocket. So when you do the 5,000 plus the 2,500, basically they're having a $7,500 expense account, and they'll be almost nil out of pocket. Okay, the thing is that it does work separate. 2,500 for outpatient procedures, 5,000 for hospitalization. Okay. Any questions so far? So that 420.80 on your tab 6 or 7. If you go to your tab 7 was what we submitted in your packet. If you keep your $500 deductible, it's $423.40. If you do the 5,000 deductible with the gap, it's $335.03 plus $86.77 for a total of $421.80. Just a couple of dollars difference, but times 200 employees, over a year's time, you save $3,840 for yourselves, for the city, and the employee also is going to save a lot more out of pocket. So that total includes the gap that City of San Juan pays, I believe, 100% for the employee. If the employee chooses to have dependents, the employee can then pick the dependent coverage and pay for that difference themselves.
How much is the difference?
Again, it's on an age-rated basis, so I would pretty much like double it if it's a spouse, and probably double it if it's a child or children. And if it's family, I'll probably triple it. I mean, that's the easiest way to say it, but it is a little bit different. And also on your tab 6, you do have the gap rates. I believe it's page 12 of tab, page 14 of tab 6. It kind of looks like this, a little bit of squares. And you're going to notice there, employees only up to age 39 is $57.49 a month. Employees only age 40 to 49, $79, and 50 plus, $126. So we took the average based on your census, the ages that you are, so that we could come up with more or less total dollars, so you can have a feel for what that cost is really going on. So, if you add a child, it goes to 127, so like I said, pretty much doubles. If you add a spouse, it goes to 103, so a little bit less than double. And if you add family, it's 306, so that's pretty large. I'm sorry, that was the wrong one. Family.
No, last question I want to ask is your network acceptable in all the local hospitals like regional, medical, Renaissance?
Well, the good thing about GAP, there is no network. It works with your health insurance plan. So,
Without, we were not gap and we get your insurance, would your insurance cover those all hospitals?
The hospitals, we would have to verify the hospitals themselves, but we're in a little bit of a tricky situation is even if the hospital's a network, the treating physicians may not be. They need to verify that as well. So you would have your emergency room doctor, your anesthesiologist, your radiologist, where it can really become an issue for that employee, for that participant is if by chance they're in an in-network hospital, but seeing a non-network physician, they could be billed into that, and that's a problem all over.
Yeah, I know that's why I'm asking you, in your network of doctors, the bigger the network, the more capability that those doctors and those hospitals are covered. That's what was my questions on doctors, and now that's why I'm asking, because there's sometimes the insurance will not cover, or not, the hospital's not in that network, and it becomes a problem for the patient, that they think their hospital bill's gonna be covered, and then it comes out that the insurance only paid 40% or 50% of it, and that bill is a $30,000 bill.
I don't have a list of providers, but we can definitely verify that. But I do not recall if we have any disruption
That's right.
issues.
No more questions.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Can I ask a question for clarification?
Sure, go ahead, sir.
Marisa, when you said the employee is still billed, do they have to pay the bill before GAP comes into effect?
no, not usually, because so long as what they're going to need to file the claim would be the explanation of benefits from the insurance company and the invoice from the service provider. And with those two forms, we help them complete the GAP claim form. And we like to check it because if we cross all the Ts and dot all the Is, they usually get paid within 10 days. So we would need that document from them. So you know the invoices come in after the service, a good 10 to 30, maybe sometimes 60 days later. So, so as soon as we get them, we file the claim.
GAP may be able to pay it before the employee has to pay it.
The hospitalization portion,
Okay.
because they do like those assignments almost seamless for the employee. They don't even get to see them.
Thank you so much.
No, dice que en un diario que-
This is a representative from Humana.
Good evening.
Evening, sir.
My name's Bart Ming. I'm with Humana. I'm based out of the Corpus Christi area, and I've had the pleasure of working in the Rio Grande Valley for almost 8 years now as part of my territory, and I've come to have a deep appreciation of the community and many of the independent brokers that serve in your community, and that's predominantly who I work through is the independent broker. For the purpose of today's presentation, I wanted to focus on where I feel that although we did release a proposal on the medical, the dental, the life, I wanted to focus my time on where I think I actually have the greatest capability of helping the city, and that's with the dental. So if we could, is there a click? There we go. Okay. So as you may be aware, proper oral hygiene it leads to better health outcomes. So when you're looking at a dental plan, although you're looking at several factors, and always your cost is part of those factors of consideration, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But one of the things that people typically overlook are how oral health is tied to your overall health and well-being. And so what I prepared was just some brief points about improper oral health and how it can lead to cardiac problems, cancer, diabetes, and that in turn has a negative impact on health plan. Those types of claims are the claims that you're trying to avoid. Those are the types of claims that drive your utilization, and that's the type of utilization that drives the cost of your health plan. Okay? So when you have a better oral health, you can have a positive impact on the outcome of your health plan. So as you also see, you have illnesses related to oral health, attributes to about 164 million hours of work that are lost per year. If we go to the next slide, please. So what drives a lot of that is almost half of our population suffers from periodontal disease. So it's very prevalent. And then it becomes a systemic effect to the rest of your body, like we talked about with other, your cardiac and cancer and diabetes. So you see healthcare costs that are upwards of 20% higher. And so the key is the early detection. And so early detection is going to lead to better outcomes. So outcomes are important to the city because of your health plan. And what about some of the things that really don't get associated with your benefit program? And that's your unscheduled absences, time off. So when you're improving the health, whether it's the physical health, the oral health, then you are also improving many aspects of your bottom line. You're reducing the number of unscheduled absences. So you have people here doing the jobs that you rely on them to do each and every day. And if we go to the next slide, so what I have proposed is a little bit different than what the city currently has. I actually proposed 2 different plans because I saw a very good opportunity to help the city in this regard. The city's participation in the current program is less than 50%. So less of 50% of the employees are participating in the program. And I think I might be wrong, but I think the predominant cause for that is the cost. The cost of your program for what type of program it is very high.
What you're saying that the employees will have an option of taking the 2635, or they could take the 840? So depending on what they want, so can you explain what the 840
Yes, sir.
will?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If we could go ahead and go to the 2 slides ahead, please. Okay, so this is called the Preventive Plus plan. This is the plan that I believe will help address the city's participation challenge. Because so many people are discouraged from participating because of the cost. Some people believe that they don't need that full-blown plan. I don't want to pay for benefits that I'm not going to use. They opt out. But when they do that, they're opting out of, preventive services, just annual routine cleanings. So this plan, to address your question, it covers 100% preventive care, and then it covers 50%, that's your routine cleanings, your 2 cleanings twice a year. And so then it covers basic services. So basic services are like, getting a filling, or maybe you have to have a tooth pulled. That's a basic service. That's covered at 50%. And then for major services, employees have a discount. They get access to a discount on services.
So, a major service, is it cosmetic? Would that fall under a major service, or?
Yes, and cosmetics typically are not covered unless the group plan purchases additional, what we call a rider, that, covers like, certain type of implants, things of that nature. Typically, cosmetics, dentistry is not a covered benefit because it's elective. You're electing to have your teeth whitened, and that's not really designed to improve your oral health. It's a cosmetic treatment.
But if you have a
Much
real
like on the
serious, let's just say a root canal, where they need to go in there, pull out the nerve, and then implant some kind of,
Right.
I
So-
mean, that's,
So that would be a cosmetic procedure. That would be under the major services.
Okay.
For root canals, things like that.
okay.
So on this program, since there's not a 3rd tier, typically, how you see dental benefits, the 180, 50, since there's not that 3rd tier of major, they have discounts to those services. So they'd pay less than just walking in off the street. And so this is priced at a very low price point to get people into the system, to get them, to take care of their, routine cleanings, and to provide the basic services to keep that, those types of services and the out-of-pocket at a minimum.
So like the 840 would cover the employee only, or would it cover the family?
That's the employee only, sir. So then what we've done is we've replicated the city's current tiering, which is a 4-tier structure. So it's $8.48 for the employee. It's $19.21 for the employee and a spouse. It is $22.53 for an employee, and whether it's 1 or 3 children or 4 children, there's no limit. And finally, family coverage is $35.48, and that's, again, there's no cap on the number of children. And these are reflected in monthly premiums. If there's no other questions on this program, I'd like to back up 1 slide, please, and go to yes, thank you. And this plan, I proposed to replicate as closely as possible the city's current program. So you have preventive services covered at 100%. You have basic services covered at 80%. And then you have your major services, like the root canal, covered at 50%. And so you have a individual deductible of $50, a family deductible is $150, and these are all very standard in the dental industry. We waive the deductible, so what that means is for when people have preventive services, they don't have to pay that deductible. Those preventive services are covered at 100%. Cleanings, routine cleanings, and so forth. The annual maximum is $1,500, so that's a very nice annual maximum. The next line you'll see is the extended annual maximum, and that's put in place as a standard on all of our dental offerings. And what that does is it provides a coinsurance benefit to someone who maybe has a lot of services done early in the year and they've hit their $1,500 maximum. So rather than have them wait till the maximum resets the following calendar year, they get a coinsurance benefit. So where Humana will pay 30%. So their out-of-pocket is much less, and they don't have to, delay those services if they're really necessary. Let's see, on the other side, we have the endodontics, periodontics in basic. And what's really nice about this program, and this is also standard in this traditional plus program, not the preventive plus, but the traditional plus, is that in addition to the 2 annual cleanings, you get 4 periodontal cleanings. So a couple slides ago, we talked about how the 47% of our community has periodontal disease. So what this is designed to do is to give people that are that need that additional service. They don't have to waste, a routine cleaning and then they have the rest of their year and they still need benefits, but they've exhausted them. So this is set aside so they'll get 4 periodontal cleanings should they need that service, which is very unique.
Actually end up getting like 4 parental and 2 regular cleanings.
Say so, yeah, because you have your 2, what are considered your routine that you go for about every 6 months. That's your routine. But if you are diagnosed with periodontal, issues, and your provider recommends that you need that additional, really deep cleaning that's outside of a routine, then there's 4
Yeah,
of
but
those.
most of the time, people with diabetes are the ones that they kind of recommend to get 4 cleanings a year, just because, it's a lot more.
Right. So you also have a, complex surgical extractions. That's in the basic. That's not in the major tier. So rather than just, I know everybody's able to read this, so I won't continue with that unless there's any questions. But what I would say is that I really do believe that a large population of the city's employees are priced out of the program as it is today. And having a dual option that gives them the ability to choose which one suits the needs of themselves and their dependents, I think will be very much appreciated by your employees.
So the 2635 is compared to what we have right now.
It's very competitive versus what you have right now. If I'm not mistaken, based upon the information that was released within the RFP, your single only for a plan such as this is at $35. I can't remember off the top of my head what all the others are, but I do have it with me if we needed to talk about that. But
I know that you're getting close on time, but you also provide a life insurance?
we did. I don't know how that compared to what you currently have. If I'm not mistaken, what we offered was the basic life and accidental death and dismemberment, which is paid for by the city for the employee, and then the employee has the option of buying additional coverage should they choose. So yes, we did submit a
Yeah,
proposal
I saw
for
like a
that.
21 cent.
Yes, that's for the basic, and then you add 3 cents for the accidental death and dismemberment. So the total, when you combine the two, is 24.
And if the employee to add their spouse in this life insurance, how much additional would it be, or?
So the employee has a guarantee issue of 100,000, and then the spouse is eligible for half of whatever the employee chooses. So if an employee chooses 100, the spouse is eligible for 50. If the employee chooses 50, the spouse is eligible for 25. If that makes sense.
And you do have a family plan for children?
For dependents, I did bring it with me, and I'm sorry, I don't know that off the top of my head, but I do believe there is a dependent as well, which is very standard, very standard. Basic dependent. Yes, basic dependent. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It covers the spouse at 10,000, and then the children, depending on their age, it's either 500 or 2,500.
Do you happen to have, like I know my insurance has, that if the employee wishes to buy 3 or 4 times their salary on life insurance, also available, or that doesn't?
Well, the way that we structured it is they have the ability to buy additional coverage at kind of a group discounted rate. It'd be less expensive than if they were to go out on their own. And so in looking at this, it looks like the employee's guarantee issue is 150,000. And so the spouse is able to get a 50%. Well, the spouse is capped at 50,000, so it's still 50,000 on the spouse. But they can. And then when I say guarantee issue, that's important. That's guarantee issue. If an employee chooses that they want to go beyond that amount of money, they can do that, but they have to complete an evidence of insurability, which is basically an abbreviated health statement. Yes,
Above 100,000?
above 150,000.
Oh, 150,000.
Yes, sir.
And so new employees can get up to 100,000, or if you come on with us, everybody would be able to get up to 100,000 without underwriting?
Correct, because your guarantee issue amount on the employee is 150,000. So you have your open enrollment.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes,
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for
Really
the
appreciate
opportunity. Thank you.
West Blue Shield. I'll call in Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I'm going to pass these out to y'all. Apologize for not having an actual presentation for you, but I did print out some slides that I'd like for you to take a look at whenever I speak today. My name is Steve Schimmel. I'm a regional sales executive with Blue Cross Blue Shield. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight. And just to let you know a little bit about our business in the Valley. We've got some really good partnerships with public sector business, school districts, and cities. Here just recently, we, I guess in the last few months, wrote 2 school districts and 1 city, and they're just right down the road from you guys. So, and these are the cities and school districts used to be with Blue Cross. They left us. They came back. Just a little story last week. We picked up a local school district, and the teachers were lined up in the back holding Blue Cross Blue Shield signs, wearing blue shirts. They were ready to come back, and they left us for about 1.5 years. So it really made me feel good to see that, and really what I do is I'm not just a sales rep up here. I actually do some good, and people really love our product. So we'll talk about that a little bit tonight, and I'd like to go over some benefits that make us different from other carriers. And as you can see what I just passed out, one of those is going to be our network. And what this is it's a Strenus report. It compares our network to some of the other local providers. We don't, this is a third party that produces this report and gives it to us. I like it, obviously because we look really good on it. But as you can see, you're probably going to wonder, why are these other carriers, these are some pretty big carriers, why are they smaller? Why are their networks smaller? Well, their networks are built a little bit different than ours. Ours is one large network. What they do is they replace, they have their network and they use another network, what they call wrap networks, to make it much larger. So what that means to the employee or member whenever they go to the provider, they might not be in the exclusive other carrier network. They might be going to this wrap network, and they're not going to get that discount advantage that we have with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We have the strongest discounts here in the Valley. Y'all are looking at about a 67% discount. And those wrap networks, you're looking at, in the low 50s. So whenever you're going and you're paying your deductible or whatever it might be, as a member, you're probably going to pay a little bit more.
What you're talking right is that, like, if I see the doctor, your network gets a 60%, 65% on the doctor?
It'll be around a 67% discount is what we have. Just down, one of the school districts, we actually did a claims repricing recently. They were with a third administrator. They were using a rental network. The rental network was getting about 53% discount, and we came in, we did full claims repricing on all their claims. We came at 67%. Y'all are running not too bad right now. You're running about 86%. I mean, you don't really want to run any worse than that, but y'all are kind of primed to go self-funded, maybe not this year, but maybe next year. So whenever I think we're looking at, when I'm talking to you tonight, I'm not just looking at the first year. I'd like to see, maybe next year y'all looking at going self-funded. And there's some programs that we have in place that I think is going to help you out, identify some of those risks, if that's something y'all want to decide to do here this next year. And you're going to see a huge savings when you do move from the fully insured to the self-funded piece of it. It's going to be around a 20% savings there. So that's big dollars to y'all. So it's a little bit different animal, but obviously we're not going to be doing that this year. We can talk about that next year if y'all decide to go with us. Anyway, so that's it for our large network. One of the other things that we have is on this next page is basically a member rewards program. This is a new program with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We partnered up with a company called Vitals. What they do is it's a new program that offers cash rewards when a lower cost quality provider is selected from several possibilities. As you can see, same procedure, different cost, a potential cash in your pocket. So If you look at the example down there, it's got member procedure, MRI of the brain. So the cost difference from going from getting one MRI from one location to the other facility is $682 up to $3,849. So what we want to do is try to educate the employee, and you could use the carrot and stick. We like to use the carrot, and that's, we're going to pay you for making a better choice. It's also going to help out with your claims, and then next year when you come up for renewal, hopefully, your claims are going to be running a little bit better than that 86%, and so in turn, you're going to get a better renewal. We're not going to hammer you with an ugly renewal like you've probably seen in the past. So that we're trying to control some of those costs, and we believe that the carrot is the way to do that. It's a really neat program. What they do is they can go online, the member can go online, use the provider finder. They could call an 800 number and say, okay, where's a good some locations? They'll give them about 3 choices, and they can make that choice. A lot of times the doctor's going to say, here you go down the road, get your MRI done. And we all have made that mistake. Doctor told us to do that. Let's go down the road and do that. But they're in business too. They've got relationships with some other facilities out there. But I think if we stop, we think about it, we can educate your employees. This is going to be a good program for them, and it's going to put some money back in their pocket by making those smart choices. It's something that I haven't seen out there that other carriers are promoting right now that we are. The next page is going to be our virtual visits, another differentiator. It allows the employee to have access on their mobile app, online video, or by telephone, a provider. Instead of going to urgent care, they can pick up the phone. You have a sinus infection or something like that, they can get amoxicillin sent to the pharmacist, go pick it up, and it's that easy. It's over the phone. Of course, they're going to ask them some questions. If something that is urgent, they'll probably send them to the emergency room. But I think it's a great service that we provide, again, at no additional cost. And then one of the last ones is basically, I think is pretty important, is having a really good wellness program, outreach programs for your members. We call it our Blue Care Connection. I don't have that brochure in front of you right now, but what that includes is maternity programs, 24/7 nurse line, lifestyle management programs, weight loss, tobacco cessation, and some disease management programs. Part of that Blue Care Connection, and it's also a Well on Target it's a member portal that basically they can go online, do their biometric screening, health assessments, take courses, fitness programs, different things like that. They're going to earn points, and with those points, they can go online and get some of these pictures, like an iPad, get knives for their cutlery, different things like that, stereos, all those types of neat things. So it's just another way to incentivize your employees and the members to make healthy choices. Again, it's that using that carrot. So I think that's one of our neat programs. And one of the things that we will do, if y'all would like for us to, I know I was talking earlier about maybe going self-funding for next year. I think we've got a company, it's called Catapult Health, that will come in and they will sit down with each member, each employee, do a biometric screening.
Like an assessment on.
Yeah, they sit with them and
that's good.
take their blood, all that, and a lot of times you're sitting there, and I've had this happen with someone I work with. They sent him to the emergency room immediately, and he was on meds, like 3 different meds, I think, right away. He had high blood pressure. They said he was ready to have a stroke. So, and that was just going to just having his blood drawn, and then they look at it right there, and they said, hey, you got some problems, you need to go. But what they're going to do is, if they come across an individual that does, their readings, they don't look right, they're going to move them over to another room, sit them with a nurse practitioner or even a doctor. It's like a computer screen. And then what they'll do is they'll ask them questions, different things, and they'll actually schedule an appointment with the primary care physician, local one here, and do it for them. make the call right then, schedule it, because a lot of members, they don't even have, you know, a doctor that they even know of. They just wait for that disaster to happen, that's all of a sudden, you've got all these doctors thrown on you at that point.
So this program that you're talking about, sir, is it once a year or?
At Catapult, we'd like to come in the beginning to do that. It's once a year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a once-a-year program.
Okay.
But it's definitely beneficial, and the reason why I think it's good to do it, especially your first year, if you move to Blue Cross, is you're identifying those health risks. You identify them, and then next thing you know, next year, whenever you go self-funded, they're not going to blow up on you. You know, they're going to blow up on us this year if we don't identify them, because we're fully insured, and we're going to take the brunt of that. But if you do decide to move self-funded, we've already identified those health risks this year. They're already starting to manage whatever, you know, complications they might have, whether it's diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever it might be, so you're not looking at that heart attack or stroke pop up on you next year if y'all decide to move self-funded. I think it's a great program. You know, it definitely helps out the individuals to find, you know, a primary care physician that's local that'll work with them, and they can take it from there. Those are some of the cool benefits I think that we have that I think would work well with the city here. Another thing we have is, you know, we came in, we submitted our proposal. We originally, I think we're about 25.7% above current at that $500 PPO rate. We have since then, with me negotiating with the underwriters back and forth, dropped it down to a 13.5% increase over current. And on top of that, we have a $40,000 implementation and wellness credit that we would like to throw in if y'all decide to move with our bundle, our dental with the medical. The implementation credit would basically, wellness credit would provide enrollment materials, you know, any communications, or, you know, if you need to have someone come out, sit with the employees one-on-one, go over their benefits, things like that. Basically, you would just turn the receipt into us, and we'd cut you a check up to $40,000 for whatever those services are, whoever charges you for that. So that's what's on the table right now. We're at 13.5% above current, and we are also throwing in that $40,000 implementation credit with the bundling, the dental. And then I talked to my dental rep before I came tonight. I don't have the updated proposal, but he said he would also reduce our dental rates by 2%. So.
You also have a program that says employees are taking prescriptions, that if the employee has not refilled their prescriptions, some of those nurses will call and say, hey, Mr. Garcia, what's happening with your refill? You haven't, and that program is working to make sure that the patient gets well soon, so they won't have to be having too many doctor visits and they're taking their medication.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct. It's part of our disease management program. You know, it's one way of also preventing those shock claims from coming up and having, you know, whether that stroke or that heart attack or something like that happen, because we know they need those meds, and if they're not ordering those meds, then something's going on. So they'll reach out to the individual, and they'll also reach out to the provider too.
And they find out because once we do our claim, you get it, your doctors, you know what we're taking. So that's how they know what employees to reach out to.
Say that again?
They find out because once we do a claim with a doctor and we get the prescriptions, they already know what we're taking, so that's how they reach out.
Yes.
They know, they
right.
identify that
Yeah.
employee by.
It's an outreach program. It's definitely an outreach program. And they'll actually sit down and they'll call up and they'll say, hey, would you like for us to work with you, whether it be weight loss, you know, they'll have a nurse reach out to them on a regular basis, and you can make that decision at that time if you want to actually take advantage of that program.
Do you have local agents here that do your enrollment, or where an employee needs to do some claims that they go locally?
Yes, we did submit on behalf of, I think it was around 5 different agents requested a proposal. So we did do that. There are some agents available to do that, and I recommend that. They do provide that service. They're just down the road from you. Most of them are local. I think all of them are local to provide those services.
Your network, does problems with any local hospitals here, like Renaissance Medical or Regional, or?
No, I don't, all the hospitals in network right now, no issues there. We're constantly under contract, you know, you have all these hospitals down here, but you're always working on it, negotiating a new contract with them. It's just part of the business.
If our employee we were to go to Blue Cross, they have where I work, we have 3 options of the low plan, high plan. So they'll have that option to decide what kind of deductible they want to go.
Yeah, what you have is, I guess, one plan right now, which is a $500 deductible plan. We can do a 3-tier. Actually, we can do a $500, $1,000, $2,000 plan. There's also, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of a high deductible health plan that comes with a health savings account. That's another option that y'all can look at. I like those because the employee gets to fund. Imagine someone that's younger, they don't really use their medical plan. They can take that savings, and what savings you're going to take, you can actually, cut them a check and deposit in their account, like $25 a month or $50 a month for those employees. And it's just building, it's kind of like an IRA. That's their money to keep forever.
What about flex spending?
Flex spending is a little bit different. It's similar to what we're talking about right there. Flex spending, I think you lose it.
Is that through the city, or would that be part of, 'cause I know flex spending, an employee could put into their flex spending. That means that if they're allowed to put $2,500, they will not be taxable on $2,500.
Right.
And then when they appear to hospitals or to doctors, pay can be paid from the flex spending that they're putting, and the flex spending is being deducted on a
The flex
paycheck
spending-
to paycheck.
Flex spending is use it or lose it thing, so you actually have to use it by the end of the year.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're going to lose it. Whereas a health savings account, you can actually put up to, I think it's around $6,700 a year in there, and you can leave
You
it in
can
there.
roll it over?
It'll roll over just like an IRA. It's your money, but you can use it for medical benefits at any time.
The flex spending, you could, I have it. So I know how much every year I spend on medical.
Right.
So I don't want to go 100%, but 75%, because a lot of times we're living day to day and a week to week.
Yeah.
So we get paid, we spend, and then we get sick and we don't have money.
Right.
But the flex spending would give us an opportunity where they can go to a doctor and they got some money that's being put into their account on a weekly basis
Right.
or a paycheck.
Yeah, you're using tax dollars, and that's the benefit of it. I think the health savings account is a little bit better, and if the employee doesn't mind having a higher deductible and not having those co-pays and the pharmacy co-pays and things like that, because they can put that money in there, and let's just say, it's their money. It rolls over year to year to year. They could quit, go work somewhere else down the road, and that money goes with them. And they can use that money on health expenses all the way up. And at some point, I think it's around their 50s, they can start using those dollars to pay off like long-term care premium and things like that. It's a really neat.
And it's only for health expenses?
Yeah, it's
That's it.
for health.
No,
So
it's
whenever
for any kind of medical, let's say I want to do braces. You use the saving
Yeah.
plan, and I know that next year I'm going to have my daughter's going to do.
buy glasses,
Yeah, you're going to do dental, you're going to put braces. So if it costs me $3,000, I put $1,000 this year, and then next year I put $1,000. So by the time she does it, we already have $2,000 in the savings.
yeah.
And you're not taxable. It's not, you don't pay taxes on them because they're withdrawing from your check before they tax it.
Actually, I have a health savings account, and I fund that thing, and the company also matches it up to a point too. So it's really nice. I'm not, I'm benefit from not having any health issues right now, so I need those co-pays, or I think I need those pharmacy co-pays. So I'm just taking advantage of that. I have choices to have other plans that have those co-pays and those benefits. I just, not there yet, so.
Any other questions? Thank you so much, sir.
Hey, thank you all very much, and again, I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you, sir.
We'll have Bob Trevino's office next.
Excuse me, who?
Bob Trevino's
Okay,
office.
sir. Yes, sir.
My name is Corina Gonzalez. I'm here with Bob Trevino Insurance. And with me, I have Monica Vasquez. And we provided the booklets and the proposals for voluntary products in the cafeteria plan. Our products that we're offering are guaranteed issue. There's no questions asked. There's no pre-existing on the products. We also, I believe they provided the certain products. Do you all have a copy of the accident, cancer? Yes? No? Yes, and there was additional? Yes. Okay, so we have products that we can offer, low and high plans for the employees. They are supplemental products, so they're completely voluntary, and it's to help the employee offset their cost. With the medical insurance, they have deductibles, not out-of-pocket expenses. These voluntary products will help them get money in return to pay for claims, their out-of-pocket, their deductibles, their copays. And so we have a variety of like cancer insurance, we have the critical illness, we have an accidental product that covers them on and off the job, but they can also claim even if there's workers' comp or if they get home at work or here. And we also provided universal life insurance. The universal life insurance, it is also guaranteed issue, no exam needed. Anybody that tries to purchase insurance outside from their employer usually has to provide that they're healthy, it has to do a medical exam. And right now, everything would be guaranteed issue, whether they're diabetic, have cancer, or any pre-existing. And we also have additional riders that are also provided with our products. We are local agents. We are on Veterans Boulevard, which is between San Juan and FAR. We're right in the middle. We have been there for about 20-some years. I've been working for Mr. Trevino for 14 years. We have a team of department that does claims. We have our customer service department, and we've also had this group a few years ago, and we try to help with the city also with health fairs and provide everything that we can for the employees.
How many of y'all that do again?
Our customer service, we're five. For customer service, we do have 9 licensed agents.
Okay.
And then we also put 1 agent in charge of the certain account. That'll be the main contact for the city.
Now, as far as you had mentioned, like cancer, critical illness, is that the only carrier you use, or is there?
Like for Allstate?
Yeah.
We're licensed with many carriers. I believe in the booklet, they're
Is that-
there.
yeah, I see
Yes,
the other-
But we do have, yes, we have Colonial, we
Oh,
have
okay.
many carriers. We also provide disability. I don't see the quotes for disability there, but we
No.
do provide disability also for the
Also.
employees. We do the cafeteria plan too, where we can deduct the employees pre-tax, so they have a tax savings. And all of that is, they'll be deducted from their paycheck, and then they'll tax after any other insurance. So it's less taxes for them as well.
So through the Allstate program, somebody that's not insured by, and has cancer, will Allstate pick them up?
Yes, it's guaranteed. We won't ask medical
But
questions.
it takes them right away? Or does it spend a
Keep it-
year, or?
Well, it depends on the product. If we do guaranteed issue, means everybody can get on board, no questions asked. If we do waive pre-existing, then we could also do we waive the pre-existing, and that's something that is more internal. But usually we do have a 12-month waiting for pre-existing conditions for the first 12 months.
And pre-existing would be like what?
If they currently have cancer, pick them up, but they'll have to have the plan for 12 months before it covers. And then we also have where it does cover pre-existing regardless. I don't know if you have another voluntary product in place, but if we also do a takeover, then those would be an automatic rollover, and they give you credit for having another coverage. So you don't have to start for the 12 months.
Normally, when you do enrollment, you take care of the enrollment if you were to be an agent for somebody else, or?
I don't understand the question.
Well, you do enrollment, any plan, right?
Yes.
And if we got claims, you do them there for
Oh, we can help you, yes.
Our employees, you take care of all claims there locally here?
We do everything here locally. We also, like I said, we'll have an agent just for the city, like a main contact. For new hires, we could enroll them. And we could do where it's here, our office, whatever's preferable. We also do we have an enrollment team, and we do everything online. So sync like a census in our system, and then they get a copy of everything that they have, what's pre-tax and their total amount deduction. And all our agents are local. If we need more agents, we do contract outside our office.
On the wellness program, you know, do you help people if they don't know, fill out those forms?
Oh, yes, that's one of the things that we to do also. The cancer and the critical have a wellness reimbursement, even if they never use it or never get cancer or heart attack. If they bring us that they had like a wellness done, a pap smear, mammogram, or PSA, even just cholesterol, they bring to our office, and depending on their plan, they get $50 or $100. I believe on the critical, it's a flat 100, regardless if they're in the low and a high. The cancer, we did a 50 and a 100, and it's per person. So if it's a family of 5, they can claim 5 wellness per person. So those are pretty neat. I mean, we also do, we have this also for the PSG school district. So they always come in for that. And it's pretty neat because they get $500 back or whatever they want to use it for. On some of the products, especially with that wellness, they probably get more money in return than what they're actually paying. In our cancer product and accident, it's a flat rate, so it doesn't matter if they're young or old. The ones that do affect on age is mostly the critical because it's on the heart and the life insurance. But they're very affordable because, like I said, they can do like a low plan or a higher plan.
Any other questions? You good? Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
I
you.
really
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh.
One more? Oh, that's it? My question is gonna be for Mr. Jaime. The last one that just came up, Allstate, there's no comparison here on the spreadsheet. Right. Social Security plan como el dental. Right. Como el dental. So they're not offering. No, es como si se va sí. They're offering. Sí, pero aquí tenemos Jimena, está ofreciendo esos.
This is supplement, this is only supplement.
Sí. Will be,
Hers was,
yeah.
okay, right.
What plan do you used to have for the school district?
Sí, por eso it's all,
Yeah, it's
supplemental,
always
it's
the
not
same.
anything here.
Yeah.
And another question that I was gonna have is, how many employees only have the employee insurance?
I think we only have 3, what are the numbers? We only have 3 that have family, maybe about 12 that have spouse.
I see here on the spreadsheet, it's 185, right? Just by themselves only. And then you have an employee and spouse, which is 12, right? And you have employee and children, which is 1, and you have employee and family, which is 3. Those are the numbers. Exactly.
And the comparison here is on the current one, not on the proposed 10%, right?
No, this is the numbers that I just read right now into the record is the current, right? If I'm mistaken?
That's our current, what our employees currently have, the coverage that they currently have for that.
Yeah, but I'm saying as far as the numbers,
Okay, this one is 2016, 2017, fiscal year.
okay. Okay, so then it's correct, okay.
And then if you go to TML, you look at their sheet, and you would see what their proposed rate for the following.
That's it, we're,
Yeah,
yeah, if you like, I guess right now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and discuss the issue in reference to all these agents, and I guess, Mr. Jaime, I guess you can contact them later, right? And just let them know what transpired tonight, this evening. A lot of information, a lot.
Is it, basically what you're gonna want is if you wanna improve the quality for our employees, or you wanna leave it where it is. And, I think so, our employees work hard out there, that the best insurance we can get them is what they deserve.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Jaime, we heard pretty much everyone who submitted, right?
Yes, sir. Well, there were some companies submitted that didn't show up.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
saying. So obviously, we're gonna exclude them.
Yes.
Since they're not here.
Right. And they didn't offer medical insurance. They were offering accidental
The
life.
additional,
Accidental death and life.
yeah, the
right.
additional insurances?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They're locked down.
Okay. So tonight, do you need, what do you need? Do you need a concrete answer as far as who to go with, or what are we gonna do here?
If we need to notify, if we're going to change insurance carrier, we need to notify TML. Otherwise, we need to stay with them another 30 days. We have to notify them 30 days in advance. So right now, we're looking, going into November. We could look into December if we delay it.
They're already charging us the increase, correct?
Yes, October 1st, we're paying their new re-rate for the same coverage that we currently have, right?
And that additional cost is the city's. not the
Everybody that has insurance, the employees with dependent coverage are going to have an increase. And we, for covering our 100, all of our employees, we have an increase also. It's about 10%.
Any suggestions, gentlemen? I mean,
Well, I'll
what
make a
do you guys
motion.
think?
Well, you wanna make a motion, or you want me to make a suggestion? Make a motion to approve Blue Cross Blue Shield with an agent of Bob Trevino, and for dental and life, Humana, for both of them, with an agent of Bob Trevino. Just for the record, I think so that's a local agent here that can give better service and better quality for our employees.
That was in a motion?
That's the motion.
I'll go ahead and second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Let me get a clarification. For Blue Cross Blue Shield, they'll also do the life and accidental death?
We're doing Humana for dental and life, and Blue Cross Blue Shield, our health
Health.
insurance agent, and both of them with the agent of Bob Trevino.
Yes, sir, but they also have life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance also. That would be Blue Cross Blue Shield?
No, it'll be under Jimena.
We got it on the Humana.
Humana?
Yes.
With dental and, okay.
Yeah.
Dental, yeah, life for Jimena and medical for.
So you got it, Mr. Jaime? You got it?
Yes, sir. Is that motion,
Oh, huh? Mr. Palacio. Mayor.
I believe his motion was medical with Blue Cross Blue Shield and dental with Humana. But we also have life and accidental death and dismemberment.
It'll be Jimena.
Okay, but
If
that
we
wa-
could,
that
if we
wasn't
could,
the
if
motion.
we could, if that's the understanding, just for clarification,
Accidental and what was it?
Mr. Garcia.
Life and accidental death and dismemberment.
We know that,
So-
we know that you made a motion and it was second and voted on. And to clarify, it was Blue Cross Blue Shield for health, and then you said dental for Humana. But now,
So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and make a motion for Humana for life and accidental
Second.
insurance. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in,
That was the motion already.
But that No. was
the motion. Yeah, the motion was Humana with life and dental. And then Blue Cross Blue Shield as health.
yeah, but then we also need accidental.
accidental.
Okay.
So we need a motion for accidental, and also, if you're gonna identify the record, the agent of record, go ahead and recognize the agent of record for that accidental also.
I make a motion for the accidental as well for Humana. Agent of record would be Bob Trevino as well. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Coach Neto Guajardo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting has been adjourned at 7:17 PM. Thank you.